Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie, Violet Vixen Commissaro, and I'm here tonight with
Jesse. Welcome back, guys. Another week. We're happy to be here with you guys.
So, welcome to tonight's interview with Josh Balz, a dynamic business entrepreneur whose journey from the world of music to business mogul is sure to inspire. With a unique blend of creativity and strategic thinking, Josh has navigated the highs and lows of both industries, carving out a path that defies convention. Join us as we discuss his experiences, insights, and lessons learned along the way.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey, listen, that was pretty no one talks about me like that. It's usually like that guy's a big giant piece of shit is usually how I'm introduced at any point in my life. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I guess we're starting with that. Did you figure out whether you're going to work at Lowe's or start a cult?
I honestly, it's probably going to be, I always, what's funny is people always say that I already have started a cult because I feel like it's all right. See,
that. Nah,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's my circle is we're very culty and it's fine. It's okay.
You
But
start a new cult at Lowe's.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the cult at Lowe's.
Yeah.
The move.
I've probably put most Lowe's employees through their 401ks. I love, so I'm a very like fix it, like hands-on, like most of the things you see that are mine,
Mhm.
I try to build myself. So I'm a Lowe's connoisseur. If I walk into Lowe's, I know where I'm going. I don't need your help. I will find it. That's why I say I just want to get a job at Lowe's and just hang out.
Yeah.
Do you think that eventually you might have your own show? Like, I know it's popular for people to have their own like fix-up shows. I could totally see it.
So I pitched a show idea to Netflix a bit ago, and it was so every goth kid decorates their apartment like a goth kid, but I feel like most of our we don't have much money, and that's an issue. So I wanted to go around and someone give me like a couple $100 budget and make their apartments look wonderful because I love interior design. I love that. So we got a little far on the idea and like started shooting somewhat of a pilot and things like that. And then I got busy on another project. It kind of got shelved, and then we kind of went from there. But I don't know what we were talking about. I forgot.
You can always put it back in the universe that Netflix should pick it up.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So we got to hear all about Roadhounds. It's very exciting.
It's new. I was with Space Zebra for a while with DWP, and we were doing the Twitch thing. And then, to be honest, Twitch, I don't give a fuck. Twitch wrote a giant check. It was awesome. It was cool. Like, they funded all of our shit. We did all this stuff. And then Twitch just gave up on music. They wanted us to go more towards video games and that kind of platform. So they kind of pulled back on our funding, and it became a big, giant thing. And we were just like, you know what? Like, we're going to do this thing in support of whatever. And then it kind of, another thing, it just got put on the back burner. And then Roadhounds actually wanted to work with Space Zebra for a while. And they were truly, they love unsigned artists. And actually everything that they do goes back and feeds them the people that no one gives a fuck about is like what I like to say. No offense to them, but I was in that boat too. So I can say that, I feel like. So they give a fuck. Like Roadhounds gives a fuck about artists. So they, we kind of made a deal. They hired me to kind of host their metaverse, and I kind of been on their board trying to we're changing some things around where it was a paid platform, and now we're making it a free platform for everybody. And then it'll be
I know some people were a little panicked because they got refunded, and they're like, "Is it done? Like, where are we?"
No. So we're rebranding where it's all free. You can come in and you don't have to pay for a subscription to get things. We're going to be more ad driven it doesn't affect, like, people won't have to pay to do things. So it makes it a lot easier. We'll have microtransactions inside, almost like Roblox, where it's like if you want to put on a Strange Unusual shirt, you pay 25 cents and you get to put a Strange Unusual shirt on. I actually love that t-shirt. So it's just we're just evolving Roadhounds, and it came from Space Zebra and kind of evolved into this whole thing. I don't even know. We might actually change the name. That's on the chopping block right now of like let's reevaluate and let's make this like so it's gonna fuck it. I don't care. Again, I don't care.
I went on and it's pretty cool. Like
it is. So we're gonna make it like MTV. So it's gonna be 24 hours of content every single day. So we're gonna be hiring VJs like yourself to have a show inside our metaverse, and we'll be able to have basically you'll be Matt Pinfield and the dude from fucking TRL and this, and so it'll be 24 hours of always content. So that's what we're kind of striving for.
Now, as far as people that are trying to get in with that, like how should they go about it?
So we're gonna do a thing like I don't know. How old are you guys? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that anymore.
You're allowed to ask that.
I'm old. Jesse can answer. I'm old.
I'm 29.
So I don't know. So I don't know if you remember back in like MTV days, they used to do a battle. They did a thing to be the next VJ for MTV years ago. So we're gonna do that, like where we're gonna like host almost like competitions where all these VJs come on and they like give us a 5-minute show, and we're gonna pick our favorite shows and give them a show on our platform, which I thought was very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like putting it in your little submission tape. I always need to like.
I wish it could be in a VCR.
I write in a V8, mail in a VHS.
That'd be. I might actually do that.
That's sick.
But yeah, it's coming great. It's gonna be a very cool, awesome thing, and I can't wait to see what it blossoms into.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about bands and how bands go about getting on and being part of the Battle of the Bands? I know you only had one. Congratulations, Nail Bite.
Oh, that's it's crazy. I saw them yesterday. They were so I had a free show at my venue yesterday, and who walked in but the Nail Bite crew. But yes, congratulations to them. They're awesome. We're gonna do tons of stuff like that. We're actually gonna do we were actually trying to do it this year. We were gonna do a giveaway for every DWP festival like we did on Space Zebra. So we're trying to facilitate those things where we just want to make sure it's worth it for the bands. It's like we don't want to be like, hey, here's a can of Coca-Cola. You win this. Like we want to make it very worthwhile, like a slot on a festival or these big like we're trying to get these sponsors on board to be like, what's going to change a band's life? Like I still want to do a van and trailer for a band because I feel like every unsigned artist has the shittiest van and trailer that's like on its way out. So there's definitely a lot to come, and it still will be heavily in support of unsigned artists. And we're also doing a live stream from my venue as well, where we're going to rig it up and we're going to have live streaming from there as well. So there's a lot and a ton of new things coming from that world.
So with taking away the free zone, like, does that open it up to everything that they had now? Everybody has, or
yes. So we'll probably block a couple rooms off. So it'll probably be like 3 or 4 rooms will be available to go through, but everything will be free. Like you can get into the entire world for free. You don't have to just hang out in the free zone. The entire thing will be Metal City basically. So you'll be able to just boom. You can have these things. We're gonna put like little licensed games inside those arcades upstairs, so you can actually go in and play. And it's like basically an all-encompassing world where you can go and kind of get lost for like, our goal is to obviously not take people away from the real world, but also like, hey, at night to turn my brain off, I can hang out in here for 2 hours and it will be, knowledgeable. We'll have new music news on there and a lot of things that will actually like be very positive moving forward for anybody that's in there.
Now, is this only geared towards metal? Is this geared towards other genres or?
Oh, I don't give a fuck what you're playing. You can submit whatever you want. I know I just feel like the world I'm in is always geared towards metal and rock. So it just kind of happens like that. But no, as I think Creed said, with arms wide open.
with arms wide open.
So, what are you
I'm
planning
platinum,
with
baby.
the next Battle of the Bands?
I don't know. We have a couple tosses of a few different ideas, but we haven't really like nailed it down because we're trying to like figure out this whole opening and doing things and making it the free zone. And we have a couple different really cool ideas, but I don't want to say it yet in case I'm a liar.
Well, I really hope that you can change your avatar's hair color at some point because I like to have them all with purple hair.
That is one. So that is one of the things that we're going to be able to allow. You're going to be able to change your hair color, your face. Like there's going to be more options than 3 or 4 like characters. So you'll be able to like. So one of the things we're trying to. Well, I'll just say this is one of the things we're trying to be is like, you can pay. Like you can get your normal avatars, but you can pay 25 cents to get hair, but you can pay $5 to be like M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold and walk around like stuff like that. We're trying to implement, but it's just like so much red tape, so much bullshit. So it's just a it's a marathon.
A lot of moving parts.
Yes, definitely.
Are you planning on in the future like having the finalists on live and like having it kind of set up like the venues for the Battle of the Bands?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the goal. Is like it's one of the reasons why I bought a venue. Also, is like to be able to cross utilize that for things like that, where it's like we can have bands fly in. We already have all the cameras, we have the gear, we have everything, and then we almost do the battle right on stage, or things like that, kind of like we've done in the past. But I would love to see more live music than music videos. I mean, I love both, obviously, but to see a band scramble and try to record live is honestly one of the most exhilarating things that we've done in the past. So really looking forward to doing that again.
And you said that you were planning on expanding it for people that want to get their businesses involved.
Yeah,
Are
so
you planning on doing ads for businesses?
Fuck yeah. So there's going to be like billboards inside the city that you can be like, for like $25, you can put like a pretty little podcast like up top, like, or you can do up to like you can spend $10,000 or $25,000 and we'll build you an entire like meta store where you can go in and shop like there'll actually be a strange and unusual where it's like you can go in and you can see like human skulls and you can purchase that human skull inside there. Same thing with Black Craft and American Musical Supply is on board and a couple different things. So it's just very expensive is really what it is. I couldn't believe how expensive. I was like, how much is it to build out a strange unusual? Oh, with our like dev team and this, it's like gonna take like this many hours. It's gonna probably cost like $5,000 to $10,000. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll go fuck myself now.
So I noticed when I was on before that there were a couple little glitches. Are those going to be worked out for the next round?
No, we want to keep the glitches.
Yeah, we're no irony now. Absolutely, put the board away.
It's crazy how different it is, and we're trying to figure out. I mean, 99% of people want to go on their phone, and that's the issue that we're in because it's such a big giant city, and it takes up so much space, and there's so many things going on that like when you go on your phone, it just like shits out. It's because it's meant to be on a PC or like on watching it on Chrome, and like because it is so expansive, and our phones are only so powerful. So much. Yeah. So we're trying to figure out almost a diluted version where it's just, you're not getting 1080, like you might get 720, but it's still, you're still being able to go through without glitches. And then the chat feature was super glitchy, which we've been actively trying to sort that as well. But I can't believe how in depth every single movement in that world is. It's not just like you go on Twitch and say, hey, there's a show with overlays and you're using StreamYard and you're using your OBS and you're doing this. It is nothing like that. It's crazy. So it's way above my pay grade, but I'm just I'm along for the ride.
It is such a great way for everyone to network and for these bands to kind of get a chance to be out there. Like I used to watch everything with DW, and it was fun. I mean, everybody got to go on. Everybody gets like all hype and voting and putting their emojis and like.
I do miss it. Yeah, it was a very. I think I had like 7 or 8 heart attacks.
Oh my God.
That while that show was happening, because it's just so. It was so intense, and to see how passionate people were, and it honestly got me really stoked about music again. To be completely honest, I was so fucking fed up with music, but seeing all these kids being like, "All right, cool, I got 1 vote," and they're like fucking freaking out. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is exactly what I needed in my life, and it really kind of sparked me getting back into that world. So I love that it's been a stepping stone in my life, and I love that I'm getting to go forward with Roadhounds as well to open that next chapter. So I'm very excited.
And now, is that still wrapped up with the DW festivals?
So there'll be a lot of collab work with them, probably more along 2025. I can't say much more, but
So as far as your favorite spots in Roadhounds, what are your spots that you like to go, or that you would suggest that newcomers go on?
Honestly, the dungeon is like just fucking wild. There's like the Metal City dungeon, and there's a couple different. Honestly, that's the best one. It looks so fucking expansive, and that's the one I wanted to kind of lean into the most and do like only feature corpse paint European metal bands in this like dungeon. It's just the coolest visually. It's the coolest looking thing. Obviously, I love like the Free Zone Metal City because it's so like I love all the banners. It looks like $1 million, and it looks very like awesome. But I have a special place in my heart for the dungeon because like obviously we're freak, we're weirdo.
We get it.
Yeah.
And the last thing before we move on to one of your other endeavors, I just totally lost my thought. But do you plan on incorporating the Ritz in with Roadhounds?
Yeah, so we actually just purchased a ton of cameras and audio shit, and like so what we're gonna do is every time like we just had Des Rocks last night, and I wish all my shit came in. Like, so we want to build a set where the Des can come on during the day, we do an interview back, and then we show the interview, and then we live stream the set at the Ritz. So that will definitely be coming in the very near future. We were actually trying to pull off Des, but all the equipment was just super delayed and back ordered. So I was just like, well, I guess I'll go fuck myself. But yes, the Ritz will 100% be involved in a lot of things going forward.
I haven't got a chance to go there, but Jesse,
I've been, I've been to multiple shows there. You've seen me went to Spooky Fest.
Yes.
I've been to all, you're killing it. I also am just like, I love the Y2K cereal bar. I'm like all about that. Like, in my mind, I was like, now this is something. And
it's like heaven. It's like heaven and hell. Like it
really is.
It's too bright over there. I try to stay away.
And then like I've been to the other Noir location, but I've also been to the new one, and I was like mind blown by the first one. But then when I walked into the new location, I was like, this is out of like, this is completely.
And it's only getting better. We've only been open for a few months, and I kind of rushed the build on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like super stoked on it yet, but it's going to keep getting to where it needs to be. But no, thank you. I appreciate you coming to, because you guys are close, right? You guys live kind of close-ish.
Philly.
That's not too far.
Yeah, we're in Philly.
No,
but, Frank we go home. He'd see his parents. So
yeah.
I'm like,
we were just up at the Moon Ballroom for Traverse, Nail Bite, and Strange Culture in them.
I wanted to go so bad, but I didn't. Some fool.
It was so fun. Like literally all night, it was just like back and forth between the two stages. Like,
I love that. I love that our local community is just like crushing it.
Seriously, it's like amazing.
was very cool.
But we did get a chance to stop by your store.
I love that. That is honestly one of my favorite shirts that have ever been made, and I'm super stoked you got that one and a duck.
And I got his name is Duck Bite.
I was gonna say, did you name it? Oh yeah, I did. You know, I saw you post it. I did see you post that.
And he's awesome. I've gotten so many compliments, and everybody keeps like asking me, where do I get it? I'm like, online. You can get them online, but it's cooler if you go to the store because you can pick them out.
Fact.
Absolutely.
Big facts.
It was so crowded though. Like I wanted to be that girl that like went around in every chair and like took the pictures and like, but it was so crowded. It was like every other person in there was doing the same thing.
Good.
I was like, yeah, I'm not waiting in a line for the chair next time.
Like at the store, it was busy.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, that's sick.
You're like, excellent. My favorite, dude, the coffee, mind blowing. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I'm like, specifically have to go here for that coffee, the one with like,
I mean,
rose and stuff in it. I was like,
oh yeah. So a lot of people when they do like, I would say kitschy coffee. I don't want to say kitschy coffee, but like we obviously are a little more kitschy. Like we do that, obviously, whatever. But we took time to give a fuck about like the beans that we source and the things that we use and how we actually prepare. We actually prepare our coffee. Like did you get iced or hot?
I got hot coffee.
So all right, this doesn't
okay, so it doesn't
attest to you. But like when we do cold, like any kind of cold stuff, we actually don't make our coffee like normal coffee shops do. We actually make them like bartenders do. Like we actually we shake them and we make them like we're making a cocktail. So the entire thing is way more flavorful instead of being like, oh, there's only steam, there's only milk at the bottom, and then there's coffee here, and there's this and this. But like, we take the time to make sure it's almost like you're going to get a cocktail, but it's a coffee, so it's like way more engulfed in flavor. So it's not a lot of people do that. I don't know why. I love it. So we just take that extra step to make sure it's like, not only is it's not cheap. I think it's like $6 for a fucking latte.
Yeah.
Which is, I remember battling like myself being like, I want this to be like $3. And they're like, hey, this can't be $3. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Is worth the money to me.
Good.
Also, the other thing is that every single time we go back to his parents' house, he's like, we need to go get the parlor.
Yes.
He's like, you cannot get root beer that good.
I love that they always have like new flavors. And that you can make when you order it, you can mix and match your 12-pack. Like I love
custom sampler. Yeah, that's it. That's the vibe. I think we're gonna come back out with pumpkin, I think, and then we have diet coming out. So it's definitely like it's a very interesting world to be in. Like craft soda is it's tough, it's difficult, but for some reason we've broken through like this barrier of, because the monsters are Coca-Cola and Pepsi, and they really want to see everybody else fail. But we took a whole different route, which was just like, hey, fuck you, we're parlor, and that's it, and just deal with it. And then we back it up by being like good as fuck. Like
it's seriously good stuff.
I love root beer, and like it does attest to be like we are all root beer lovers that own the company. So we were very particular on how it tasted. And I was like, if this doesn't taste good, I don't want anything to do with it. So it was a very long taste testing, but our OG root beer I will put it up against any other root beer, and any other root beer can go fuck itself.
I
have to say it is beyond.
It's that good. It's that good. If you're watching this, order the parlor root beer.
Yeah.
I'm not even like a big like root beer drinker. When I went to Love Drafts, I was told that I had to get it. I'm like, you have to try it. You have to try it. And I did, and I loved it. I ended up having to.
Now we're talking.
But yeah, they all went online. What flavors do you have currently? Do you know which ones are on there right now?
I think on the site there's only the 3 flavors: the original root beer, butterscotch root beer, and birch beer. Right now, we took all the other ones down because we're pieces of shit. We just like to have fun with people's brains. So we'll start popping other stuff up and like keeping it more fun. And so you'll see the diet will start popping up, the pumpkin will start popping up, and then we'll have another probably another flavor out with the next few months after that as well.
So I want to talk a little bit more about the Ritz and bands. If bands are looking to play at the Ritz, how do they go about it?
You can either message the Ritz Instagram or Facebook, or you can send what the hell is the ritztheaterco.org? That's not right. You're fired.
Yeah.
So if you just go to, you can email info@theritztheater.com.
Okay.
And if that's how you kind of submit to just send your band. Honestly, I've been making a running list of all bands in like our tri-state area that like have hit me up to play shows, and trying to pick, make it fair, pick the right bands, pick ones that actually give a fuck, that will help. Because also, I don't want bands selling tickets. I had to do that when I was younger. I don't want that to be a thing. So
that's
it's
nice to know.
Yeah, so but I also want the bands to hustle and be like, not that they're just playing the show. I want to make sure that they're giving a fuck and promoting the show and pulling their weight as well, because it's all community effort, and if they're not doing their due diligence, they just won't get on another show. You know what I mean? That's how I'm holding it. Like, if I put you on a show and I see that you haven't pulled your weight, and I didn't have you selling tickets, I didn't have you doing anything, I just trusted that you're going to go out and hustle and get people to buy tickets to come see your band. If I see you not doing that, you just won't get on another show. And it's
I was amazed at the turnout, because like I think it was called the James Barrett band.
Oh yeah.
And I went to that, and it was like, Frank's like, it's just gonna be a local show, like community, like whatever. I was like, this is a higher turnout than like huge touring bands that I've seen in Philly. I was like, this is insane. Like, the Music City scene is so alive in this venue, and I'm like thriving. I was like, this is crazy.
It was kind of nuts to see people support. I mean, it was a full local bill, which was awesome. Yeah. I think we did a few hundred tickets, which is wild, because I remember like what you're saying, sometimes you don't see 20 people show up at a show.
Yeah.
And I think it's just also making a very comfortable situation. Like, the Ritz is, I was a touring musician. Mm-hmm. I've also been to a million shows, so I know what people like, and I also know what bands like. So it's like making a very like, I want a place where bands want to fucking play all the time, but I also wanted to build a place that every fan would want to see a show. And that's why if obviously if some people are watching this have never been in the Ritz, it is tiered up, so you can see the stage from everywhere where you're standing, which I really loved about it. It is a little like shifty for like if you want to like have a pit or something like that.
That's what I was just gonna ask. Have you had to deal with the pit situation yet?
A little bit, and it's gonna grow, where I think we're gonna get rid of the first tier and make the pit a little bit bigger. We saw a couple mosh pits the other day, and I was like, this is cool, but I wish it was bigger, because I want to see that more energy, because it's hard to have a ton of energy when you're like on the third row tiered up, but it also does make for a very good focal point of the thing like that too. So yeah, I want it to be a very comfortable, and I think that does, like seeing a James Barrett show where you'd think that it would be not as many people, it crushes because people want to be involved in the community, and it's also a very nice place to be at. Like, I think, at least, it's very comfortable. Really is. Yeah, it's wonderful.
I was just amazed by the local turnout, because like I'm not familiar with the area. I'm from Delco, so it's like 2 hours away. I'm like, I don't really know what's going on in here, and I just like walked in. I was like mind blown.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. That makes me happy.
So offhand, do you know of any things you have coming up? Like, I know you just had the Strange Fest, and
we had Des Rocks.
Jesse, that you had gone to the Fetish.
I went to Noir Nights. Hell yeah!
You were at Noir Nights? Sick.
I was at Noir Nights. I was dancing. I was doing it up. So I'm definitely, I used to go to Shampoo for Nocturne Wednesdays. So it was very reminiscent of like my early teens, like early to, I was like all about that.
It was interesting because I didn't know how to do it. I've done it before, Noir Nights, obviously, but to do it in a theater, I was really like I was like, where do I do things where it's like, you're not just focused and watching at the stage. So it was a very actual difficult build. And I took a long time to build the right cages, make sure there was crosses in the right space. There was shibari rigs. There was, I had girls in bathtubs, like in the one
The
lounge.
mermaids, yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting.
When I walked in, so I got everybody lined up. Your staff killed it. I literally was, they like marked me, did everything. I looked at the girl who like did my check mark and everything like that. And I said, "You are a well-oiled machine." And she said, "Thank you very much." Because I was like, just so smooth.
We're cruising. We're only a few months in, but we all of us are either musicians or fans, or so I make sure I hire people that fucking get it.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not a bunch of schmucks, so they get it, and it's cool. Like, it's awesome. But yeah, I think so. We did Noir Nights, which was a very big success. Des Rocks last night was awesome. That James Barrett show was awesome. Strange Fest was a huge hit.
That was awesome.
Super shocked because I was like, no one's gonna show up. No one gives a fuck. But there was like thousands of people. It was wonderful. I forget what we have coming up. I think we have Pink Talking Fish, something this week. It's like a tribute band to like Pink Floyd, Fish, the Talking Heads, who I love. So I was actually kind of stoked to book it. It's a fun tribute act this week. I think it's May 9th in a few days here. So it'll be cool. I have some really awesome shows that I have really big offers out that I can't talk about, that I want to talk about, but they're so fucking good. To be able to bring like national big bands back to smaller venues at Scranton in Northeast Pennsylvania makes me so fucking stoked. Like, we have some really solid, like, just to even bring our first real show, Escape the Fate. Like, I love those guys. They're some of my best friends. TJ, the guitar player, we've been best friends since we were teenagers. He was the reason why I was in Motionless. So I was like I was like, hey, this was never a real venue. This is now a real venue. I need you to play a show and be like a real legit venue. I need this favor. So they all flew. They booked a tour to basically help me out. And they did the whole wet East Coast, and they played the Ritz, and they kind of like kicked it off. So now it's almost a shoo-in because we have that footage to be able to show promoters, booking agents, that we're like a legit venue. So it's only going to go up from here.
That's super exciting. And I think that it's just like super amazing that you're doing it. I hear all the stories of like Cafe Metro and all those places where all these iconic bands played. And so to see that coming like full circle, like back.
It is crazy. I remember Cafe Metro, we played the last show ever, but there's some super iconic, like My Chem taking back. And this is like, so Allie, you don't know what Cafe Metro. I'm dying. So Cafe Metro was like this 50 cap club in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And there was My Chem has been there, Taking Back Sunday has been there. All these giant bands, they kind of like but now I get to create those memories with my venue. Like having a band like Deadlands come through the other day, they're still up and coming. And it's like, I get to see them become these giant bands and be like, hey, you came through my door and you sold a couple hundred tickets. Now you're selling 10,000 tickets. So it's a really cool, I'm glad I get to be someone's step stool to success.
Yeah, it's really full circle.
Definitely. 100%.
Oh, it's great. Like, especially watching like some of the bands, like when you get to watch them start and like not have the confidence, and then they play some shows that really are great shows, and that confidence is built, and you just see them go out there and like you can feel it. I love it.
It's incredible. Super incredible. Very proud of watching those things happen. So I again, fingers crossed I get to see that happen for the rest of my life.
So let's talk a little bit about Motionless in White.
Sure.
Can you tell us, and I'll leave this very vague. I'll leave it up to you.
You can ask any question you want. It doesn't, nothing is like off the table. There's no like.
I would like to know your most memorable moment from being with the band.
That's a good question. There's actually a ton of them. It was a decade of my life, so there's very many stories. It's actually one of my most memorable stories with them is one day I went to practice. So there was a keyboard player before me. A lot of people don't know this. There was this kid called Jesse who played with them for like 10 minutes. And it was my friend. And like, I actually helped Motionless with some other shit. I was one of TJ's friends. He's always skateboard and do this stuff. And then I showed up to practice one day to help them with some bullshit. And they're like, do you play keyboards? Our keyboard player didn't show up today. And I was like, sure. And I played some keyboard. Like I knew like chords and that was it. So I like was like, of course I do. Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Like, I'm the man.
Yeah. So that I remember that being my first introduction to Motionless in White, being like literally at that after that practice, like, do you just want to be in the band? And I was like, yes, this sounds
Remember
great.
what
And
you played?
I don't remember. I think, let me think. Fuck, that's we're talking about like 17 years ago. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. That's so crazy. Maybe it was destroying. You know, it was destroying everything. I bet. OG Motionless. Because I helped them write that. Never mind. It was before that. Shit. I don't know. You got me.
You'll think of it right after we get off.
Probably. Yeah.
So, what inspired your transition from the band to being a business mogul?
Honestly, it was out of necessity for a while. It was just there's not really much money in music, and becoming an adult and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, it was just really difficult to, strange. At the time, I had 2 stores. And it was just one of those things where I was giving 50% to Strange, and I was giving 50% to Motionless. And back then I knew how to multitask, but not at the level I do now.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I need to just figure out what the fuck I'm doing. And then one day I was on tour. At the time I had a family situation where I had dogs and a significant other, and I had a house, and I had stores, and I had this thing, and like, and I was on tour, and I was like, you know what? I'd rather be home than on tour. And I was on a bus. At the time we were on tour with Korn, I think. So it's not like it was like some schmuck tour, like it was a big deal. And I was like, I'd rather be home. This kind of sucks. And like right after that tour, I legit called Chris and I said, listen, I'm done. And then he's asking me if I want to do the next tour, which was like, I think Falling in Reverse and Crown the Empire. And I was like, no. I was like, I'm good. You do it without me. We're fine. And that was it. It was just one day I was just like, I'm ready to just hang it up.
Yeah.
And it was the best decision I ever made. So I'm very happy about it.
Were you nervous when you started some of these businesses? Because I mean, especially with your restaurant and like all of them, I mean, you have
every
stores on everything. That's hard.
Every day going forward, I'm always nervous. Every single day I'm nervous. I'm like a fucking duck. Like underneath, my feet in the water are crazy, but I'm calm and collected up top, and usually I'm always freaking out some which way. So yeah, I'm always nervous, and I was nervous when I quit. I was just like, I lost an identity for like 6 months after. No one gave a fuck. Like, you go from getting hundreds of messages a day and like doing VIP meet and greets and always talking to people to just be sheltered. It was just almost shut off. It's like the world shut off around me for a few months, and I kind of freaked out.
How did the fans react to it?
And then they came around, and they are very, to this day, still some of the most supportive people I've ever encountered in my life were those fans. And still, like, people are still finding out about Motionless now and going back and watching old videos and then following me and supporting the things that I've done. So like, fuck the music. The fans are the fucking best, like the best. So like, I'm never nervous anymore because I know they're always going to show up and always support, which I love, and I will treat them with utmost respect for the rest of my life, because if it wasn't for the fans and the people that have supported me going forward, I would literally have fucking nothing. So I'm super appreciative, and so I'm not nervous as much anymore because I know I have a backbone of a bunch of fucking weirdos that are ready to just be like, all right, what are you doing? Let's do it.
Everything has grown so much. I remember I worked the taxidermy convention a million years ago at
The one in Philly?
Yeah, I did the
Remember that.
Strange and Unusual booth for the maps
Mm-hmm.
like a million years ago, and just like the growth has been insane since then.
Wild. It's so crazy how much it's like, I don't know. I get really complacent and I start to freak out, and then I'm like, all right, what's next? You know? So to see the growth is always, I love moving forward, and I hate staying stagnant. So, which is sometimes a very big problem of mine. But knock on wood, it's done nothing but great things.
So what gave you the idea to start the Strange and Unusual? Like, what went into that?
I used to be on tour and I had nothing to do ever. And I would go to these like weird antique stores. Oddity stores really didn't exist back then. There was two. There was one in New York, which was called Obscura.
Yeah, TV show.
Yep. And then there was one in San Fran called Love to Death, I believe. And that was it. Like there was no other oddity stores. And I used to go and like go to these antique stores and find like, oh, here's a skull, here's a fucking weird clown, here's a thing. And I would, at the end of a tour, I would have all these weird trinkets because I'd be walking around a town finding weird shit. And then I had a pile of shit one day. I'm like, what am I doing with all this stuff? And I was like, it would be really crazy if I had my own oddity store, because it doesn't exist. And I think our area can really benefit from just having some fucking weirdos and some culture injected into it. And everyone thought it was fucking crazy. And here we are 10 plus years later.
Oh, it was a must stop whenever I was down on South Street.
Yeah, I do miss that store a ton.
It was awesome. I was obsessed with going in there, and I loved all my friends that work there. I loved working the booth for the good people involved.
It was a very wonderful situation down there, and I think after Steve, after he passed, it kind of all just fell apart, and he was kind of the glue that kept it together, and then so it was just, and then COVID happened, and it was just like, all right, like, just go.
So what's the weirdest thing that you've ever collected or that you picked up somewhere?
I have a human face in a jar. That's always fun.
I saw one of those at the Dark Parlor, and what is it? What is that, York? And I was like, I want that so bad. I just want to name it Abby Normal for me.
Is it a man or a woman?
It's a man.
Okay. Does he have a name?
No.
You can steal that.
No, he's we call him Frank. He actually came out of an old teaching collection from the 50s. We got him out of he came from an auction house. But it's fucking wild. It's very cool. I love it. I have a human skin book. Like, those are a couple of cool things that I've gotten all the things that I've always wanted, which is really crazy. Like, I remember being like, oh, I want a skull. And then I was like, well, I want a cow skull, or I want a coyote. And then I was like, oh, I want a human skull. All right, well, I want a fetus, or I wanted this and I wanted that. And it's like, I'm like, fuck, I have human skin books and cool shit and like ethically sourced like fucking wild ass taxidermy and shit. So it's wonderful.
How do you feel about them de-human skinning the books in like certain library collections?
So weird. Give them all to me.
I know. I think it's weirder that they're taking it off. I'm just like, if it's been on there for that long, just let it ride.
It's an ode to history. It's like, I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from history instead of destroying history. I mean, there's a lot of horrible things that have happened in the past that we really need to keep our eyes on, or those things will happen again. And I think people are very, very fucking stupid. And if you don't show people idiocracy, it'll happen again. So I think it's very dumb that they're doing it, and I think it's gonna it's just uncalled for, if you will.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's weirder to dismantle it because now you're getting involved, you're touching it, you're taking it apart. It's almost like
Just archive it, if anything.
yeah,
Just
just
fucking
archive
archive it. Yeah. So yeah.
And that's your personal collection, the skull. The skull.
I have so much weird shit in my personal collection.
I get it.
I got stuff. I got things. I've been collecting for a long time.
As far as the store, what's the coolest thing you've ever had in the store?
The coolest thing right now I have a giraffe, which I've always wanted. It's nothing crazy. It's not like one of those crazy things that's like astronomically weird. I've always just wanted a giraffe, taxidermy giraffe, and to be able to just have one and just look at it every day. I actually have two, which is also fucking crazy. I have one at my house and one at the store, which is great. And then what else in there? There's a couple cool things in there. It sucks because I used to get strange, really cool shit, and people don't buy it, you know, and I have to be a business half the time. So I used to get really cool shit, and I used to encompass the store with fucking mounds of weird and unique shit. But then people will go in and buy a t-shirt, which again, not complaining, but I veered away from going down a super weird path where now it's just like almost accessibly weird.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's just kind of, I think I might dip down this next year. I might dip down into the deep dark weirdo sphere for strange again, because it's been a while. It needs
you definitely need to get more two-headed black ducklings.
Yes, those are so difficult to find. You have no idea. Because I try to ethically source them, so it makes it very fucking difficult. Like, if I were to go punch some ducklings, I can probably get a ton of them. But I try to do things right.
I thought you were gonna say the best piece was Justin Bieber.
Oh, Justin Bieber! Oh my God, what an angel he is!
What an angel!
I forgot about him. He used to wield a sword, but now I think someone stole his sword.
Really? Oh
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I used to have a cape on too for a while. So yeah, Justin Bieber is a staple in the Strange and Unusual. So if you go through the Strange and Unusual, you have to just at least visit Justin Bieber. He's probably lingering around the floors somewhere.
I have one piece.
I did not see him when I was there.
Unusual. It is a bobcat.
You have a bobcat?
I have it from your store. I have it from the South Street store. It's in the other room. Yep.
I know exactly. You know, it's crazy.
I've had little witch hat on it. Yeah.
Yep. I've had thousands of things, and I can probably, if you're like, I have a horrible memory, but I love things and stuff. And I remember I remember all of it. Like, I used to have a hard time selling anything. We'd have a rule. Like, if it didn't sell in 6 months, I would take it home because I was attached to everything. So I stopped naming stuff. I stopped getting attached. Like, it was really difficult because I honestly do love oddities. I love weird. I love like things that tell a story, and it's fucking awesome. I love owning an oddity store. It's nothing cooler than it.
That's so fun. So, as far as with Noor, I have to ask, what is your favorite thing to eat there?
Hold on. How did you pronounce it?
She said Noor.
Noor. I pronounce everything.
No one pronounces it right. It's noir.
It's noir. The movies.
Noir, like a movie.
We can say it with that Philly or Delco accent. Noir.
Noir. Is it difficult with your teeth to say, like?
Frank will catch me slipping every now and then, and I'm like, don't catch me. I'm like, don't repeat that. Like, don't catch me saying stuff stupid, but not
saying stuff stupid is the best line I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I was
but
saying stuff stupid.
Yeah, it's
I just
noir.
own it at this point. I say so many things wrong,
which is fair. You say it with confidence.
I take it in and I learn from it. But
yeah,
it's like I'm not gonna not talk.
I get roasted more for saying stuff like hoagie than I get roasted for mixing up like words with the teeth.
It is hoagie.
Hoagie, yeah, but
hoagie.
people were like hoagie. I don't know what I'm saying.
My favorite thing. Go back to our question. You can call it whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite thing there is honestly really, it's funny because the reason that this dish is, I'm a very picky eater.
Okay.
So I'm very plain. I love weird shit. I love all the whatever. But when it comes to eating, I'm like like chicken tenders, French
Oh,
fries kind of guy.
baby.
So the chicken dish is it's called Don't Be a Chicken because it's
Mhm.
actually put on the menu because I'm a boring fuck, and I love chicken and broccoli are my two favorite things together. So it's a charred chicken breast with on top of broccolini and with farro underneath, which is like it's your fucking whatever. But it's my favorite thing ever. It's so delicious. I do love the gator nachos. That's probably my close second. But my number one, whenever chef makes me food, it's always I was like, can I just get the chicken? Like that's my usual go to.
I
So
love
we gotta
the
ask your secret. Like, is there a secret behind having a successful restaurant and having these successful business?
No. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing on a daily basis ever. Everyone always comes to me like, "Oh, you're a marketing genius." I was like, "No, I'm not." I was like, everything is just like, "Hey, let's just try this out. This seems fun." Like, I am a grown child, and that is a fucking fact. Like, I'm just like, I'll do dumb shit, like put billboards upside down or say stupid shit, or like, it's honestly, it's just everything is just I just do whatever I want to do, and I'm very like fortunate to be able to do that, and it's
Mhm.
just all my businesses are unapologetically me, and it's I think people see that people see like the passion and what it is, and it's like truly like an accepting space and things like that. So it's there's no rhyme or reason, and there's legit no anything except for like people understand that it's a passionate place that like people give a fuck about. Like our staff, the staff at Noir and Strange and Parlor, and they want to give like they want to be a part of the cult, if you will.
Mhm.
Full circle, huh? Back to the cult.
yeah, really.
Now, how do you balance all of these things?
I have so many people around me that are just fucking awesome. A lot of people ask me how like when I sleep. And I sleep very, very well. I sleep like 6 hours a night. So my goal, I sleep like 5 or 6 hours a night, but it's honestly the people around me. I have great people that give a fuck about the things that are going on, and I think if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. Like Aaron and Morgan and Dustin and fucking Amber, and there's so many core people that really help everything I do go forward. And if it wasn't for them, I'd be dead.
So I wanted to talk, Jesse. You guys were kind of filling me in when you had gone to the Strange Fest and to the Ritz, that you're opening some other things within the Ritz.
Oh man, we got the cereal bar, we got the tattoo studio. I've done the tour, dude.
Oh, I didn't hear about the tattoo studio.
Oh,
I heard
yeah.
barber shop.
I was walking around doing the whole like, ooh, what do we got going on in here?
Did you get a tattoo on for Flash?
I got a tattoo at the Scranton Tattoo Convention.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't get a tattoo then. I would have, but
Pussy.
Yeah,
Oh, money.
I am pussy. That is exactly it.
Honestly, same. But no, so it's nice because it's a community of people that I hand selected to be. So the first floor is a bunch of retail shops and Noir. So it's you walk in and on the whole left side is all Noir. The right side is a cereal bar, and then you go a little bit further and there's a tattoo shop. You go a little bit further and there's a hairstylist. She does teeth jewelry. She does like crazy cool hair. She does even like body waxing, which count me out. And then what
Vintage
no one knows,
right?
that's what's that?
There was vintage in the back too. I saw.
Yeah, and she has like she makes her own crafts and things like that. And then there's going to be another room which will be open in the back where there's going to be an ice cream shop and then axe throwing in the back as well. So it's going to be like a whole. You don't have to leave the Ritz for an entire day if you don't want to. It's kind of what we wanted to create. Be wild.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's just a bunch of fucking weirdos hanging out. That's all.
That's like one of the things that super surprised me was how much stuff was in there. because I had just assumed it was just the venue, like the first time I went. And I was like, no, there is so much more. I can spend a lot of time and a lot more money in here than I thought I could.
Spend all of your money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's wonderful. I mean, I love growing and building a community, and I think it's, it's very integral to give a fuck about what people are doing, and and honoring the creatives and giving them a platform.
So do you have any other plans that you can tell us about for the future?
Well, today I just announced randomly, which I shouldn't have, but I was just in a mood. I partnered with the Pocono Raceway, which is like this giant fucking, it's one of the biggest NASCAR tracks of all time.
I was up there last year for 420.
Yeah. So we are, so me, Elements Music Festival and the Pocono Raceway are now doing we're gonna announce that we're doing a haunted walkthrough through the woods of Pocono Raceway this year, which is gonna be fucking awesome. Like, they're giving me free reign to do whatever I want, which is also horrifying. I'm like, I can do whatever I want. They're like, yeah, we don't care. And I'm like, I can do whatever I want. And they're like, yes. And I went, all right. I was like, you're kind of fucking yourself, but all right. So yeah, that'll be this year, which is a very cool thing. I have a lot more things. I'm probably gonna get more into the restaurateur space. And I have a couple concepts that I want to come out with. But yeah, the thing that is announced is that I'm going to be doing a haunted walkthrough through the woods of the Pocono Raceway, which is probably going to be witch themed, carnival-y and witchy. It's going to be very, very fun. Lots of fire, probably.
That's exciting. The haunts out in that area are so much different than what I'm used to. I was like, this is like a whole tourist. Like, I was like, I understand why people come out for this. I am not used to like this much. I was like, they have flames. I didn't grow up with flames.
Yeah, Reaper's Revenge is it. Like, those.
I was like, yeah, I'm prepared.
It's terrifying. I love it.
So before you go, I just want to go over a little bit about Roadhounds. I want everybody to go on Roadhounds, make your little avatar, and what was the place they want to go into the dungeon, and what was the other?
So Metal City is one, and then the dungeon is the vibe for sure.
Okay. And also, if you get out to Scranton, there's the Strange and Unusual, there's the Ritz, and all of the different places. I can't say it. Now I'm gonna
you're self-conscious.
Yeah, now I'm really gonna mess it up.
Or should I say it?
You say it first. Let's see what you say.
Noir.
You basically want your mouth to swim. Noir.
Yeah. Noir.
I'm like the worst with rolling my tongue. Like, people try to get me to do that through the years, and it just never works. And once you make me like known that I can't say it right, then I'm even worse. But
yeah, you have to visit Noir because it's great. I love it. They're all my babies.
I love it. I love the cheese stuffed skulls. I love the iconic cheese board. I love that when I tried to find the bathroom, I found a woman reading tarot, and I was like, this is a sign.
Fair. Very fair.
And also, make sure if you go to the Strange and Unusual, you said the coffee, you said the iced coffee.
Strange Brew is it. Like, it's if you're looking for like a nice quality cup of coffee and an experience to go along with it, definitely visit Strange Brew, which is inside Strange and Unusual.
And where is the next place that fans can find you? What will you be at?
I don't know. I'm like a dementor. I'm just all over the place, just haunting people. I don't know. I'm always popping around. People are always like, "Where are you going to be today? Can I come find you?" And I'm like, "Good luck."
Okay, audience, he's telling you that you have to follow all of his pages, which you have quite a few. I don't know if some of those are like catfishers or what's going on, but
of me, there's a bunch of me.
Yeah, I was like making sure I was like tagging all of them.
So
'Cause they have
me
pictures
is
of you.
so it's me is at Josh Balz. That's it. It's
Okay.
super easy because it's
Okay.
nobody has that name, which thank God. So there's not like Josh Balz 123. It's just at Josh Balz, which is great. And then there's at the Strange Unusual, at Noir Dark Spirits, at Drink Parlor, at the Ritz Theater. I think it's the dot Ritz Theater because that one was a little difficult. What else do I own? I don't know. Who cares?
All the new ones inside, Roadhounds.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Roadhounds. Yes.
seriously, everybody's got to check it out. Like, it is so cool. And the potential, like, I'm so excited to see where you guys take it.
Me too. I mean, and again, it's everything that I do is always is to give people a safe place to just enjoy themselves or to be able to grow what they're doing, whether it's the Ritz Theater or Roadhounds or a place like Strange where like everybody is welcome, and Noir where everybody is welcome. You know, that's kind of the community that we're creating. And you know, I've worked very hard to accept all people with open arms. And I think more people should think the same, not for their wallet, but for the community for sure. So and that's what I'm trying to accomplish every day.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, I mean, for a while there after COVID, everybody's like, "Oh, the music scene's dead, especially like around this area." And I just like would not believe it. I was like, "There's no way. Like, it's gonna be revived."
Everything pops, like starts bouncing back, and a lot of like the Philly venues are on that Live Nation payroll.
Yeah.
And so people don't really want to play here. So
send them my way. Just send them all my way.
Seriously. So you're seeing a lot of other independent venues just start popping off because.
And you know what I like I've been to a lot of concerts, but these unsigned bands, especially like I got a chance to be around a lot of the ones from DW, like these bands are incredible and they want this for the most part. Like they want this, and it's just so like I almost prefer now to go to some of the unsigned versus like the bigger concerts because they just put on such shows. I mean, it's not just
because they want it, and I think it's you know, it's like I'll be the first to say I was bitter. I was a bitter musician that didn't want to be there at the time, and it was, you can probably see it in my eyes, my last 6 months of being in the band, and you don't see it in these kids' eyes. They want to do it. They're not there for money. They're not there for anything. They're just there because they're passionate about what they're doing. And I love that. And it made me spark and made me excited about music again, and be able to support these unsigned artists, which whatever platforms I have, I'm always game to do so. So it's 100% a wonderful thing.
And I love that you really like kind of take bands under your wing, and you've been a mentor to quite a few of the bands that have been in your circle. And that's really a great thing.
Like my little babies, you know?
Well, it's nice. It's nice to see people that are taking them under their wing instead of taking advantage, because you also see a lot of that.
Yeah, listen, if you want my help, ask for it. If you don't want my help, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed at night either way, and I don't want money from you either, unless you're spending it at my restaurant or my store or my cafe or my root beer company or my venue.
I'll offer a quality product.
Yes, for a product, I'll take your money. If I'm giving you something, I'll take your money. But if you're if you need help, I'm always there. I love answering people's questions or telling them that they're fucking stupid for making dumb decisions, which is also fun. Which is shitty, but it's fun. No, I love it. I love being able to. I love growing old, if that makes sense.
I get it.
It's weird. I'm in my 30s, my mid 30s now, and I have no issue with it. You know, for a while I was like, I felt like I was always 19, 20 years old, but now I'm like old, and I feel like I want to give any bit of wisdom to anybody else. And I always thrive to learn more. I'm never a kind of guy that like, yeah, like cool. Like I will always ask questions because I love to learn every day. And then so I can take that and give that knowledge to somebody else. So it's very wonderful. It's the circle of life for sure, and it's great to be able to help people. And also the other half of that is I am a giant piece of shit. So leave me alone. I'm just kidding. That's fucked up.
Oh, and I have to ask one more thing before we
Sure.
let you off. I'm keeping within the time frame, but
You did great.
okay, so we happened to see a golf tournament where you won, and a man offered that if you won, that he would offer his body up for taxidermy. Do you ever feel like you will do that?
Yes, if you owe me your fucking body, I'm taking it. Like fuck
you're
you.
like, I own that.
That's a blood oath. I
Yeah.
own you now.
Now,
Like,
would he make it into your house, or would he be in the strange and unusual with the
probably in strange? I think one of my goals in life is to have my own museum. So he'll end up in a museum. And if you want to try me at golf, fuck off. I'm gonna beat you.
You know,
He's got a good schwang.
I
Can't say that.
going into it, you had too much confidence
To lose.
standing there. I knew that you were gonna whip out some skills.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play very often. I do enjoy golf though. It's very relaxing, which is very I play two sports like semi regularly. One is I love playing ice hockey and golf, which are the two complete opposites, kind of, but very peaceful. They're both very peaceful. One I get to hit people, one I get to hit things. It's fine.
Intense and relaxing.
Exactly. Both spectrums.
Well, thank you so
Thank you.
much, seriously, for taking the time to come on. It's been so much fun getting to hear about all your different businesses and just your life.
Of course, and let me know when this situation goes, and we'll share it, and we'll make sure you guys become the biggest thing in the entire world.
Yeah, as soon as it airs on Wednesday, we will definitely get you over the link and everything.
Sure.
And thank you so much, and I can't wait to get out to the Ritz and.
Yeah, come up anytime. Doors are almost always open. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Oh, it was so fun.
So many awesome things going on. So many awesome things going on in the Scranton scene that I've been to, that you've been to. So I am just really happy to get the inside on all that information.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's hard to have one successful business.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Right?
like Josh he's doing something right, because everything he touches, it's like
Gold.
just like the Ritz, gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many crazy things coming up. We have a really insane lineup coming for April.
Get them out, baby.
April and May, or well, what? No, wait, we're already through April. Duh. For May, we have an insane lineup for May, and actually June's pretty insane too. And we'll see about July. But
I know. I thought it was gonna slow down, but we just keep turning them out and getting bigger.
So did I. I thought that because it was summer and because everybody
has a tour, has something going on. I didn't realize that how busy we were going to be, and it's actually really exciting for us. I feel like that, this is our year, dude. Last year, we really got our footing on how we're doing things. This year, it seems that we are just steam rolling. And
I think it was important from the beginning. Both of us kind of said that when we pick somebody, we want to have that connection with them.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we've done that. And it's been pretty awesome because everyone that's come on has just been an amazing guest. And as much as I love having you and you're half of it, the guests are the other half. We just had it's fun hearing all their stories. I love it.
I've met some amazing people through doing this podcast. I've gotten to deepen my friendship with you. I've gotten to deepen, my relationship with our producer. And I feel like we're all a little family. And I feel like when our guests have also become family to us too.
And honestly, I've learned so much about genres that I didn't know about.
I feel
I tell people all the time, I'm like, every time I do a show with Jessie, I learn something. Whether it's about latex crowns or some kind of fashion or fruits that have other meaning. Like, it's always something. And I love it. But
thank you everybody for joining us this week. We will be back next week, and just like, share, subscribe. It really does help.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. And also check out the shorts, because we have some really fun shorts that
they're worth watching.
They haven't been in episodes. Some of them are behind the scenes, or just something that we said along the lines that our producer Dennis decided he would put out
like,
there.
that's it. He was like, that's the clip.
I love the Jessie-ism.
Yeah, he was like, that's the clip.
I still have to say that the waffle enthusiast is probably one of my favorites.
I am an Eggo enthusiast. I have not had an Eggo in a while. I need to.
Do you know that Cinnamon Toast Crunch actually came out with waffle Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal?
Man, I have had yes, I've had it. It's really good.
Yeah, Jackson's
like as much like bread, but like that's difficult in itself because bread is delicious, and I'm a sandwich girl. I love sandwich.
But okay, let's do this again. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Listen, like, and subscribe.
We'll see you next week. No, cut that shit.